that kind of hurt. That is my wrist. Oh, I'm getting old. Anyway, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this because it's weighing on my heart. I was thinking about this since last week, Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever. I wanted to talk about this because I feel like this is one of those type of topics that nobody really likes to talk about, and this is the exact problem with the military. I feel like last week, one of my sailors actually went up for Junior Sailor of the Quarter and Junior Sailor of the Year. And one of the things that was asked of her was, what would be, obviously this is a question that almost every board gets asked. And if you don't know what a board is, it's basically where the top-notch sailors are all like kind of like nominated and then of the year and stuff like this. Kind of like how like the Grammys and like, you know, like the Emmys are and everything like that for like actors and blah blah blah. So one of the topics that I felt like that I've always wanted to mention before is that an observation of what would you want to change about the military, I would definitely say that it should almost be, I don't want to say mandatory, but it should be heavily pushed for sailors to seek help in terms of like therapy. I feel like therapy should be one of those no longer unspoken rules or unspoken abilities for sailors to be able to do. And not just sailors, I feel like any branch in general should be able to have access to it. Now, yes, we do have access to stuff like that, but I feel like the agenda is not being pushed as much as it needs to be. If you guys don't already know, the Roosevelt and the Eisenhower are both two carriers that just got back from deployment less than fucking 3 months ago, and now they're getting ready to go back out again. And the toll that can have on sailors is astronomically like depressing. In all honesty, I feel like I'm still battling my own depression from even me being on shore duty. And this was me dealing with personal crap. This was me dealing with things that I had to deal with at home and then work. So if you guys don't already know, I kind of addressed this before, but I had to deal with a lot of stuff by myself because I did not want to seek help, or I didn't feel the need to be able to voice how I was feeling to other people and to like my chain of command or my senior personnel, because it almost felt like I was making myself weak and vulnerable. And that shouldn't be something that sailors feel. I feel like everybody knows that everyone in the military goes on some type of deployment. They deal with some type of being away from home, being away from family, having to deal with the stress of not having access to a lot of normal things that people on shore duty or people back home are able to have access to. And that's exactly the problem. Nobody wants to talk about these things as much as they should be, and because it's such a norm, you know what I mean? I feel like one of the biggest things that should really be pushed on sailors and any military personnel is being able to talk to someone. Everybody says like, oh, you know, get a mentor, this, blah, 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 blah. But sometimes you don't even trust people in your command. You don't trust people enough to be your mentor. You don't trust them to be able to vent to about a lot of stuff because they're not a professional. There's only so much help that they can tell you. And sometimes the biggest lie sometimes I feel like we tell ourselves is that we can handle it ourselves, or nobody is willing to listen. And that's the exact problem. Sometimes when you hear things from an outside perspective, that can help you a lot more than what you think. And I feel like this is not being pushed enough. The military, all branches, needs to correct this, because that is why sailors feel the way they do when they stay in or get out. And then we have these suicides going on and this inconsistent, I don't really know the words for it. Like it's really depressing and it's really sad. Like when we when we push all of these NKO courses, or once upon a time like NKO courses and stuff, like all these PowerPoints and stuff like that about like, oh, you can go to what's that called, Fleet and Family, to seek help and stuff like that. Like, yes, but the problem is that it almost feels robotic instead of genuine, and that's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about the depression that we're dealing with as service members. You know, a lot of people think that we get a free ride for a lot of things. We have free healthcare, we have this, we have that. Yet there are a lot of things that we have sacrificed to be able to be in the position that we're at. And yes, everybody who's in the service, you know, volunteered themselves and stuff like that to sign on the dotted line. But that doesn't make it any less, that doesn't make us any less or more important than the average person. No one wants to talk about depression in the military, and this is a fucking problem. And don't even get me started with the damn sapper cases and stuff. Like, that type of stuff is part of the problem. Like, you know, nothing's genuine anymore. Nobody genuinely cares, and that's the problem. That's why I never sought help for so long, because I felt like I would be able to handle it. Nobody really cared, and I was going to be able to handle it on my own, and I could not. But in all honesty, there's just so many things that I feel about this topic, and it needs to be addressed. It really does. And it's upsetting. It makes me mad. Like, why don't we talk about it? Excuse me. We put up this facade of get the mission done, get this done, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you joined the military, you know what you signed up for, blah, 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 blah. And yet, those same people that bitch get out the Navy, and then they have to deal with the psychological problems afterwards, which is a problem. And then the VA is a problem in itself, and that's something that I'm scared about when I get out and that I'm going to have to deal with, which is factual. But seeking help shouldn't be a chore. It should be a gift, and a genuine gift, not something that's just saying, hey, here's a pair of socks, blah, blah, blah. It's not taken seriously. So this was just something that I wanted to talk about. I don't know why it was fresh in my mind. Apparently, listen, I can't even find the words to talk about this stuff right now. So I don't know what that sounds like. I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, and make sure that you share the video, because this is one of those things that a lot of junior sailors or a lot of future sailors don't know about. It's like, don't be afraid to seek help. You can get therapy in the military. Why don't a lot of people know this? I don't freaking know. Take your butt right on over to oh my gosh, oh my mind, the health clinic, to seek help before things get worse and worse and worse. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.